Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live match preview. I will be joined, I think, by Ryan McGinley shortly, but it's me here for now, Ryan 118. And thanks for coming along. We're just going to sit and talk about for 10-20 minutes tonight's game as Celtic take on Jablonec in the second tie of our Europa League qualifier. Currently 4-2 up on aggregate. It looks to be a position that Celtic should capitalise on and go through to the next round. Let's touch wood. Let's make sure we don't jinx anything. But we've left ourselves in a very good position. You know, a 4-2 win. With 2 goals were annoying to concede last week, and we'll come on to that. But I mean, having a 2-goal advantage as you head to a packed out Celtic Park tonight, you know, it couldn't be much better for Celtic. Well, it could be 4 goals would have been better, but you know, we've left ourselves in a very good position. I will be there tonight. I'll be at Celtic Park, back in my old seat. I've not sat in my own seat since March the 9th, was it? We played St Mirren in 2020. I've not sat in my seat for a very, very long time, so I am looking forward to it. Everybody in the chat, let me know if you're going to the game tonight. Let me know your thoughts ahead of it. We will get the chat involved as we move on along with the show, as we have been doing with these live match preview and predictions. We'll get McGinley on. We'll talk a bit about the game and everything, and then at the end, we'll have a little bit of a Q&A session. So sit down, relax, and then enjoy the show. Also, first video on the second channel is now live. My English Premier League predictions are up on there. If you want to go and watch that, this video will be up afterwards for people to watch too. So if you are here, go over to my channel, my second channel, Ryan Fitzsimons, easy to find, and you can enjoy that video. Make sure to hit subscribe as well. Right then, so tonight, I'm just looking for McGinley's message. He says, I'm almost ready. We'll bring him in the most natural of fashions. We go into this game off the back of course, a fantastic 6-0 win against Dundee at the weekend. Confidence is riding high. And let's be honest, there's a bit of a party atmosphere at the minute. We could... you know, we didn't get off to the greatest starts, being knocked out by Midtjylland. And then obviously we lost to Hearts as well on the opening day. But suddenly, after a 4-2 win last week and a 6-0 win at the weekend, and then let's not beat around the bush here, but watching Rangers lose 3 in a row, it suddenly got, you know, the spirits up in the Celtic camp, and Celtic supporters are quite rightly very excited now about the season ahead. I think that the last few results have shown that Celtic are maybe not as far off a title challenge as what we once thought. I'm not saying that's us going to go win the title now just because they've lost to Malmo or whatever. That's not what I'm saying for a moment. But I think that, you know, the eyes have been open to a serious bit of competition, and Ange's system so far has been an absolute joy to watch. Ultimately, we'll keep coming back to the comment of, yeah, we need defenders. We need to bring in guys in that area to properly challenge over the course of 38 games. But right now, I'm just absolutely buzzing with what I'm seeing from Celtic. And that 6-0 performance at the weekend has really got me buzzing for tonight. Honestly, I think we could be in for a repeat. I think we could see Celtic score a barrel of goals once again. And honestly, I'm just absolutely buzzing to see the same players and the same guys play the way they did in the last game. Kyogo Furuhashi, Ryan Christie, Liel Abada, Callum McGregor, all of these guys are on red hot form at the minute. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do perhaps again tonight. On that note, is that the real Hamish? Is that the real Hamish, or is this a fake Hamish? If it is the real Hamish, it's nice to see him. But on that note, talking about Hamish, let's get in one of... Oh, the camera's away, not even 5 minutes of the stream. But talking about Hamish, whether it be the real Hamish or not, I hope it is, because I love Hamish. But talking about Hamish, let's bring in another guy who's familiar to the 67 Heel audience now. Let's bring in Mr. Ryan McGinley. Ryan, tonight, Celtic take on the Jablonec. We are back at Celtic Park in full voice, in full swing. Could you be any more buzzing, my lad?
I'm halfway there at the moment.
You're halfway there. You're not fully there. I'm absolutely electric at the moment.
Do you know? I think it'll take a couple of pints in the pub to get me proper going for it. But no, sorry for being late. I was taking my dog out a walk. She's got the battle fever on, so she's buzzing for the game later on tonight. She's been nothing but a bad omen. We've had her, and then we lost the league, so hopefully she's got her good omens now. But no, I'm really excited to get back to Celtic Park tonight. 60,000 fans, hopefully there or thereabouts. It's going to be emotional, I think, especially with like the minute's applause for the people that obviously won't be there, that have been caught up in the whole pandemic. But that, you'll never walk alone. That is going to be a tearjerker. I don't think there's going to be a single dry eye in the room.
Listen, when it was 9,000, I was lucky I had my sunglasses on because there was water in my eyes. So tonight, there's no sunglasses on. I'm going to be holding it back. I'm really going to be holding it back tonight. I hope the cameras don't get any wise ideas and pan up to section 412. Just leave it out the equation. Yeah, Ryan, you kind of obviously you missed the kind of opening post of the show. I've been just talking about how we head into this game against Jablonec. Of course, we're 4-2 up on aggregate. It's silly goals conceded in the last leg, but we've left ourselves in a position Celtic should be able to capitalise on and see through the tie. We had a fantastic performance at the weekend. Also acknowledging the fact we're in a bit of a hysteria just now with Rangers being knocked out. The mood suddenly from say even 2 weeks ago has changed at Celtic, and tonight once again I go into this game with expectations of us having a really good and exciting performance.
Yeah, I was on that Twitter Spaces last night, and I was saying I can't see this. I can see this being very similar to what we saw at the weekend. I mean, there's my Facebook stuff going off. You've got us putting 6 past Dundee, and then Ange Postecoglou comes out and says the day before this game, obviously, a Calvin Klein model. I know I somehow wear all this stuff when I'm going on. I'm going to change this, by the way. Before the game, he was saying that he expects us to come out flying, basically, all out attack, which is good. I think an early goal will sort of settle the nerves if there are any nerves there.
Do you think there'll be nerves, Ryan? Do you think our Celtic team are feared? Do you think they're feared of playing in front of a crowd?
No, not fear. No. I think we deal with crowds better than other teams, to be honest. There's other teams that just cannot handle any sort of pressure. But enough about them. I need to stop digging myself a hole, man.
I know. I was alluding to it. I didn't expect you to firmly stick the knife in and twist it. This is the kind of stuff that's going to come back on Derby Day, Ryan. Just you calm down.
Well, so be it if that's the case. You know what, we're speaking about the here and now. I thought Davis's goal would have changed everything in their first leg, but obviously it didn't really help matters. Obviously their second half performance wasn't too great, but the Ryan Christie goal for us really cemented our sort of lead in the first leg going into the second leg. So I think we're in a really good position. If we get an early goal, not that there's going to be nerves, I think they'll just be so keen to do well that they'll try too hard, some of the players, but once they get the first goal, everything should be fine. It should be a complete party atmosphere. Everybody's back. It's a European game. We're seeing all the new players come through the door. We're seeing players that we haven't even seen in person yet in a proper big game like Turnbull and Sorrow, etc. If they play, obviously. So it should be a great atmosphere and a good mood coming into the game. If we get the early goal, then we should be fine, I think.
Yeah, I think I like this all-out attack sort of proposition. I know that Jablonec last week managed to go and score a couple of goals we really shouldn't have conceded. I would like to point fingers towards a certain centre half who's not a centre half, who's actually a centre mid that shouldn't be at Celtic. But I think that the proposition of us going all out attack is interesting because last week we scored 4 goals away from home and we shouldn't have conceded 2. We really shouldn't have. So it raises the question, Ryan, if we play with the same intensity and create the same amount of chances as we did at the weekend, which I firmly believe we can tonight. I don't think that the opposition showed us last week we can't do that. If we do manage to do that tonight, once again, you're talking about maybe 4, 5, 6 goals. And I mean,
I think so, yeah.
Think about it, Ryan. Think about this. How long has it been since Celtic have went on a run of games, even a run of 2 games where we've went and scored that many goals and we've created such an impression? That doesn't just shine well on Celtic, but it starts a kind of ripple effect throughout the league and people start to get nervous about Celtic again.
Good. Yeah, there needs to be a fear factor that comes back to Celtic Park. All too often, the past season or so, Celtic Park's been that sort of area that teams come to maybe expecting that they can get something. That wasn't always the case over the past 9 or so years. It's good that the sort of fear factor's coming back. You see the players in midweek there, the Dundee players saying it's the perfect time to play Celtic. We showed that on Sunday that it isn't the perfect time to play Celtic because this team's they're like the equivalent of a firing squad, honestly. Goals everywhere, goals galore.
10 goals in 2 games. When was the last time we've done that?
That's incredible numbers. I can't even think. Probably couple of years ago when we beat St Johnstone 7-0, Lennon's first game back as permanent manager. But even then, we didn't even play the same football as we play now. We play much better football now than we did then. Everything has a system. It's not as if we're getting goals because we've just got better players than the other team. We're getting goals because we're playing the system so well, and everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what they have to do in the team, and it just looks brilliant. And I've got to be honest, the more that I'm talking about this now, the more I'm getting buzzing to watch Celtic tonight, because I've just remembered about how good we were on Sunday. Sorry.
Yep. I don't want to get too ahead of myself and go out and say, "Oh, we're going to go and win." That's your job, I don't want to get too ahead of myself and say, "Oh, tonight we're going to go and score 5-6 goals, whatever." It's not as simple as that. Look, at the end of the day, I'll be happy with Celtic progressing to the next round tonight. I'll be happy if Celtic go out, do the job in a 2-0 victory and see us through the next round. That'll do me. But the prospect of being at the game and watching us play the exact kind of attacking. We won 5-0 the last time there was a full house. Now, to go there and pick up from where we left off in the sense of scoring goals, getting us off the edge of our seats, keeping the songbook going throughout the entire 90 minutes, that to me is so entertaining tonight. And that's exactly what I think Ange Postecoglou will want to experience himself. And I think it's exactly what all these players want to experience. Now, we figured this out in the podcast the other day, Ryan. You look at the team. Joe Hart's never played in front of the full house. Joe Hart's never experienced a football crowd like this in his life tonight. I'll tell you that right now. Never in his life. I don't know if he's been away from home with anybody. Maybe he's been to an Ajax game or whatnot, and he's experienced a great atmosphere. But certainly as the home player, he's never experienced this. You look across the back line. Ralston's been lucky enough to have it. Starfelt hasn't had it. Taylor kind of had it a wee bit, I suppose. Turnbull hasn't had it. Abada's not had it. Kyogo's not had it. All these guys, Sorrow's not had it. All these guys around the team, they're there to experience this for the first time tonight. And I am honestly certain that they'll put on a show for us.
Yeah, I think they will put on a show for us tonight. I think everything's going for them and not against them tonight. You've got 60,000 coming in. There's guys that have never experienced this sort of atmosphere before. It's unlike anything else in world football. You hear that from various horses' mouths, some big figures that are saying that. If it's good enough for Messi and Iniesta, it's good enough for me. I'm really, really excited. I think it'll be another great performance. The whole crowd's. I think everybody's behind Ange, but even more so after Sunday, after watching the way we played. I'm like, if this is what we're like when we're getting started, what we're going to be like 3-4 months in to the season, once he's fully implemented these methods and once he's got the correct pieces for different formations and the correct players, because I don't even think we've scratched the surface or hit the surface of the potential of this team yet. This team could be really, really special, and I don't want to get too carried away. But at the same time, we're allowed to get carried away because we've been put through the ringer last season, and we're allowed to get excited about things again.
I know it's good to be positive for a change, isn't it? It's just good to be positive rather than just constantly negative.
I think everybody's on the Ange bus now. Everybody's on that express train or whatever you want to call it. Everybody's pulling towards the same way. We need to go all out and attack tonight. I think Ange goes out to entertain the fans with the way he plays. So I think that's what he'll be looking for tonight. He'll want the result, but he'll want to entertain the fans that are coming back.
So on that note, all out attack, but what's the team tonight, Ryan? What do you think Ange will go with? Do you think it'll be let's do it the way we've done it in the last sort of live preview. We'll go back to front and we'll give our predictions for our starting 11. It will be a 4-3-3, you would imagine, but we'll go and we'll dance through that. In goals, Joe Hart, of course. Hoping for a second consecutive clean sheet. That would be nice for the confidence. It would be good. Right back, Franz Brickenbauer, he needs to be in there just now. He's having the time of his life. You're just hoping that he keeps up those performances, though, Ryan. He's playing for that jersey at the moment, and yes, I would like to see Jakanovic. I can't remember what his name is.
Juranovic.
I'd like to see him come in. But Ralston right now hopefully keeps up that sort of form.
Yep.
Centre half.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, sorry. I thought you wanted me.
Oh no, I thought you were going, but I didn't know if you had anything to say.
No, he's doing. Do you know he's probably playing for a bigger contract as well because he's only got a year left. We only signed a year's extension. He'll be wanting to at least be the backup to the guy that's coming in. Although I don't know if he wants to play as a backup, but he's doing himself no harm with his performances so far. He's proved a lot of people wrong. He's a right grafter as well, which is great. He just gives 100% every single time, and that is the bare minimum. But it really does permeate throughout the team. I think a lot of players are feeding off of what Ralston's doing. A lot of players are giving that extra 10-20% because Ralston's putting in those sort of standards. And it's great that a guy like him can just come into the team. He's obviously felt hard done by. He only had a game, maybe 1 or 2 games under Lennon over the past couple of seasons. But he's came in, showed a great attitude, and he's getting his rewards for it. So long may it continue.
Do you think Beaton will come back into the team, or would you stick with? Do you think it'll be? I hope it's Welsh. I really do. I think it would be Welsh and Starfelt. Welsh and Starfelt is what I was going to say. Hopefully they can continue building on maybe the positives we've seen at the weekend. And Taylor at left back, sadly.
Yeah. No, it's one of the. I don't even think he was that. It wasn't that bad on Sunday at all. So,
no, it was not. No.
Do you know he's competent enough? He's just not at the level that I would want at left back. Obviously, we've been spoiled with left backs such as Izagiri and Tierney in the past. He's just not up to that same sort of level as Greg. He's not as those players rather. I nearly said the level of Greg Taylor. I nearly made an absolute tit of myself, man. But do you know what? I want another left back in before the end of the window. It doesn't look as if Bowling Goalie's fancied by Ange at all. So we need one in anyway. Even if we look at the loan market, then I'm all for it. But we need another left back in that can play the way Ange plays.
So this is where it gets interesting. We're talking about all-out attack. Will we go for the same sort of approach we seen at the weekend? Will we see those free attacking players? Do you think Sorrow will come back in? Personally, I think tonight Sorrow will come back in. I think we'll see Sorrow, Turnbull and McGregor. I think that'll be the three for us tonight. I mean, Rogic didn't really do much wrong at the weekend. That's not a bad thing in being dropped, but I just feel like that change was made to allow this to maybe happen tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as I would like Rogic to sort of keep his place and keep that attack in midfield, we do need some sort of protection because our midfield, I think Jablonec will give us a bigger problem than what Dundee did. Jablonec are a better team. There's a reason why they're in the Europa League, or in the qualifiers rather.
Yeah, let's not disrespect them. I mean, they did finish third in the Czech First Division.
It will be a more difficult test, which is why I think we should offer them that respect by putting a holding midfielder in. Even if Sorrow is a bit erratic, he can still cut up play quite well. And he can occasionally have those games where he looks like an absolute world beater. You're like, who is this guy? Is the second coming of Kante? But and there's my dog.
There's Daisy.
Yeah, she must have seen the team or something. She's raging. Barkas isn't starting for Daisy, so she isn't too happy. That's a terrible joke. Please cut that out.
I can't cut it out. We're live, you clown. and then the front three. I mean, it's none other than it's got to be Abada. It's got to be Kyogo. It's got to be Ryan Christie. That's got to be the front three.
Yeah, I don't know how you can drop Christie out of this team, to be honest, after putting in one of the best individual performances I've seen in years. Abada was brilliant. Do you know what? Out of the three, out of the one that maybe could get dropped, it could be Abada if they were to bring in Forrest to start the game. But even at that point, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even do that. I would keep Abada in. He just looks he doesn't look the level above, but he just looks like something different that we've not had down the right-hand side for a wee while, which is great. A guy that can take a man on and beat him and have that confidence that he's going to beat him every time. He's got that acceleration as well. I would keep Abada in the team because that chemistry that Kyogo and Abada are making so far, or sort of nurturing together, is looking really promising so far. Even though they've only played 2 games, I'm all for keeping that up.
What about our £5 million man? Charlie Adam was saying Odsonne Edouard. Would you like to see him maybe come back into the team tonight? £5 million, £5 million. The whole
£5 million. I made the point on Twitter. I don't know if you can get punch drunk out of conceding a lot of goals at the weekend, but I feel like Charlie Adam isn't that. He's in a sort of lucid state. I mean, what foot is worth £5 million for Edward? Let's be honest, he still was the top goal scorer last season. It comes across as a bit disrespectful from a fellow professional to come out and sort of slate a guy,
especially someone who was a professional at the highest level. This is a guy who's played for Liverpool, for God's sake.
I know, even though what Steven Gerrard was saying about him in his autobiography, I don't forget that. He was basically coming out and calling him basically a chump.
Nice.
Do you know, it comes across as very disrespectful to me. I don't get it that there's still some professionals in the game that can come out and talk about valuations like that. It doesn't really sit well with me at all. There's got to be that sort of professionalism that stays in the game, and he kind of crossed that mark. But he's worth more than £5 million. Let's be honest. there's rumours of 18, 19, 20 million. So I don't think they're going to settle for 5 million. That wouldn't make sense in a financial sort of world. So no, I think you can take whatever Charlie Adams says with a pinch of salt, to be honest.
So finally, let's end it off. What is going to be the score tonight, Ryan? Last time you got it right, you were 100% correct. Well, you weren't really, because you didn't clip the part where you changed it to 6-1 because you didn't think we'd keep a
Nobody
clean
needs to
sheet.
know about that.
Aye,
Nobody needs to know about
so
that.
technically you weren't right. But 6-0, you did say it first. It did finish 6-0. What are you saying tonight, Ryan?
I'm going to say 5-0 tonight.
Oh, Christ almighty. I'm going to once again rein it in a little bit. I'm going to say 3-0 to Celtic.
3-0. Well, I'll still take a 3-0 as long as it's a good.
Oh, would you take a 3-0? Aye, would you take a 3-0?
Aye, you know, I'm not going to get too carried
greedy
away.
you're getting greedy about it. Aye, I'll take
No,
I'm
not too picky. Do you know? A clean sheet's just as important as the amount of goals we get tonight. I think we need to keep that sort of attitude going. I know we're going to concede quite a few goals playing this sort of football, but it's good to have that sort of habit and play early on, that we're keeping clean sheets. We're not conceding that many goals when you think about it. I mean, apart from maybe the West Ham game, that was a bit of a watershed game, but do you know, we've not been as bad as what people are saying. Obviously, individual mistakes have been quite bad, but we've not been like shipping 5-6 goals every game, and the goals have went down recently. So it's not too bad, and it's definitely something that will only improve once we get the bodies in the door.
I've got a Strong Opinion Hibs podcast and 2-1 Hibs. Are they playing the night, or what's happening? Is that aye?
They're playing Rijeka tonight.
Aye, that's right. So if I keep forgetting what games are actually on, you know, I'm losing track of
everything.
St Johnstone, Galatasaray, yep, of course.
That's probably game of the night, to be honest. I know Celtic are playing, but it's St Johnstone playing Galatasaray.
Right. We're not St Johnstone channel now.
That's very true. Very true. Sorry, guys. Sorry to anybody that wanted to hear any preview about that game.
That will be interesting, though. I mean, I have a feeling St Johnstone could do it. I tell you that right now. I've got a feeling.
Well, Falcao's walked out on them, so we'll get a chance, I guess.
That the one moment we had of Falcao playing in Perth is just gone. It's gone.
I know. I can still remember the last time he played at Celtic Park. Actually, I think it was Kyle that ducked under a free kick or something, and he got absolute pelters for it for days after.
Who did he play for at the time?
Atletico Madrid.
Right, okay.
I think that was in his first season for Atletico Madrid before he went basically on fire with goals. Although it seemed like he was like that for a good 5-6 years of his career.
Shame he was shite at United.
Right, he was and then at Chelsea as well.
Aye, that'll about do us. Ryan, thanks very much for joining me this afternoon. I'm looking forward to the game tonight. I was going to do a wee Q&A, but it's about 23 minutes in, and I'm really in a rush.
You need to catch a train.
A day, right? Well, we'll end it there. Raj, thank you very much. Hail for this evening. Hope for the best. I'll be back tomorrow. There won't be any match reaction tonight because I'll be pissed. I'm enjoying the fact that there's 60,000 back in Parkhead. I feel like I deserve to soak it in, considering it's been 18 months since I've had a moment like this. So I will be back tomorrow. Don't worry. I'm not just dying out on you. But everybody enjoy your